Hey, it's Diana from An Ageless Life, and our topic for today is, as you may have seen from the title, sleep. What is the one thing that you need to do in order to make sure that you lose weight? Yep, and the answer is sleep. We all do it, we all need it, we all know we need more of it, or I should say, most of us. But did you know that that impacts your ability to lose weight? Who would have thought? Well, there are 5 different aspects of why it's important to get your sleep in order to lose weight. And it's pretty straightforward, but a lot of us kind of take for granted that we can just push ourselves through and, okay, I'll make up for my sleep tomorrow. It's not really that important. I need to get this done, or I need to binge watch this last episode of whatever it is. Um, I'm waiting for the Great British Baking Show, and I'm promising myself I won't do that. Good thing they release it on a weekly basis rather than in one chunk. But I digress. Back to losing weight and sleep, and the role that sleep has in your ability to lose weight. So it's quite interesting, the science behind it, and I won't go into a lot of that piece of it. But I will talk about the 5 different components associated with why sleep is important if you want to lose weight. Uh, Everybody, especially when we're starting to go from summer into fall, and then come the holidays for, Thanksgiving and other, holidays that are happening. And although we're not thinking about that right now, we are kind of thinking about, oh, when it comes fall, I'm going to be inside more and there are less things that I'm doing. And food's a lot easier to access. And what am I going to do? And I don't want to gain weight, or you know, have the opportunity now that I can maybe just lose a couple pounds, or maybe it's 20 or 30 or more. I don't know, but you do. You have an idea of what it is that you want. So let's go through the 5 things that happen to you when you don't get enough sleep and which make it so hard for you to lose weight. The number one is when we hit that time, generally it's around 2, 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, where you're just in that, I'm in that slump. I am, I need energy. I reach for whatever is available. Sometimes it's caffeine. A lot of times it's something with sugar in it, or it can be, and my personal favorite is, because I'm a salt girl rather than a sugar girl, is something that is salty, like potato chips. Some people like crackers, all kinds of things along those lines. So really understanding when you see that happening, really think, and this is a great opportunity to take a pause, because sometimes we do that because we're thirsty. And oh, by the way, being thirsty can make you tired. So um, back to craving. So you're craving something, you want to eat it. It's not something that you're not really hungry, but you just need a little something to give you that kind of boost. So you reach for that. So number one is that we have more cravings because we're looking to raise our blood sugar to give us more energy to push through whatever it is that we need to do. Because obviously at that point in time, we couldn't take a nap. We might want to, but in the middle of workday, napping is generally not a good thing. Number 2 is hormone regulation. And when I talk about hormones, I'm talking about not only the hormones associated with estrogen, testosterone, and all of those, but also leptin, which is a hormone that your body releases that tells your body, let's burn this, or let's, store this. So there are 2 hormones that are in balance, but also your cortisol level, because when you sleep, your cortisol level drops and gets reset. And cortisol and the other hormones that I talked about all play a role in inflammation. And inflammation adds weight, typically around the midsection. You'll also notice some puffiness or swelling in the face. Sometimes you'll see people that have really rounded face. But the cortisol and the other hormones aren't don't have the ability to get regulated like your body would like. And so they're kind of like, okay, now we have another stressor. Pump in the cortisol because we need to make it through the day and we have to get up and we have all the stuff we have to do. So you want to really sleep and take the time to set up sleep so that you actually can have those hormones go through and do what they need to do to reset. I talked a little bit about the control of inflammation. Inflammation is a biggie. And inflammation can be for a couple of reasons. One is that your body, and this kind of flows into the remaining two, but knowing that sleep helps your body decrease inflammation. And inflammation, obviously, that's the swelling. And sometimes you don't really notice it as traditional swelling, but you'll feel a little fullness, or maybe your shoes are tighter, or sometimes that people notice that their collars are tighter, or they just feel like they have this extra water weight. Sometimes the skin feels tight, but when you have inflammation, the area puffs up, and you add in extra fluid to kind of help with the body attacking whatever it is that it feels like it needs to attack. Which, when it's in that mode, we put fat on the belly because what are we doing? We're protecting our internal organs, those we can't live without. So the body insulates all of that. And a good example of how nature works with that is cats. You notice a cat will have that little saggy belly kind of thing that happens. That is an evolutionary advantage for them because when an animal grabs them, they get skin and don't get the vital organs. For us, it's a little bit the same way in that fat is put there in order to protect us. So the other thing that happens with sleep and that impacts our ability to lose weight is getting rid of toxins, because our body will, at night, our body flushes out the toxins, and including the toxins in the brain. So it does all of the reset with memory and from short-term memory. It bathes the brain in all of the good nutrients. And while it's there, it pulls out all of the bad things. And these are things that accumulate. It can be something from the air, something from the food we breathe, something simply from the fact that our body's been working and it has all the stuff that it kind of needs. It's like going through a sorting, right? And you sort, which brings up number 5, which is recycle the parts that you want to. And so we're training our body by getting the sleep that it has the time then to recycle. So you can think of it as maybe a giant recycling bin. And a lot of times people throw all of their stuff in there. And then when it goes to the recycling center, they separate it out. And some of the stuff can't be recycled. So that gets tossed. The bottles go in one area, the plastic goes here, papers go another place. It's kind of the same thing that your body does. It takes this bin of stuff, i.e., all the stuff that's floating around in your bloodstream, in the brain, muscles, all of that, goes through, kind of cleans all that out and says, let's keep this. This is not good. Let's throw this away. So when we don't get enough sleep, what happens is the wires get crossed. Sometimes we keep things that we shouldn't. Sometimes we toss things that we shouldn't. And then the body goes, I don't know what to do. Just give me some food and it'll make everything better. It's not really what we're working for. So having sleep and recognizing that sleep is a vital component of your weight loss strategy, because controlling calories and movement is not going to be enough. There's some other key elements that you need to be aware of. And guess what? Sleep is one of them. So if you have any questions about sleep, pop them down there and I would be happy to answer them. Remember, there is Supplement Saturdays. This Saturday will be on melatonin because, after all, we're talking about sleep. And I've got some cool things to share about that. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.